Hi, my name is Joel Peru and I'm an Irrigation Agrologist with the Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture. Today I'm going to be talking about a survey that we're doing this year, and for the next couple years we'll be looking at irrigated canola production in the Lake Diefenbaker development area. So the idea behind this survey, which we're doing in conjunction with ICDC, is we're going to be tracking the production methods of various producers in this area, seeing which practices are consistently generating the highest net returns. So why did we choose canola? The reason why we chose canola is because canola is a major irrigated crop in the province. We did an irrigated crop mix survey this year, which we surveyed around 74,000 acres of land. 22% of those were canola. Typically we see numbers even higher than that in the same survey, with numbers usually hovering close to 30% of irrigated acres in the Lake Diefenbaker development area being canola. Also, canola is one of the highest net profiting crops grown under irrigation in the province, with a yield of around 55 bushels an acre, which is what we see as average for irrigated production, generate about $95 an acre in net profit. This is coming from the numbers that we generate in our annual publication, the Economics and Agronomics Guide, which uses the current prices and other variables for that period of time. Generally, producers target much higher yields though than 55 bushels an acre. People putting in the inputs to try to achieve anywhere from 60 to 80 bushels an acre. So the survey looks at many different variables. So to start off, we make sure we have a soil test for each parcel of land. There's 15 different parcels of land we're looking at each year. This year there was 5 in Riverhurst Irrigation District, 4 in SSRID, 4 in Luck Lake Irrigation District, 1 in Gradeland Irrigation District, and 1 independent project close to SSRID. So we make sure we have a soil test for each one of these fields, which we're able to get the baseline then for the nutrients. And then we work with the producers throughout the year and make sure we record everything they're doing to their crops. This includes things like their nutrients, so what products they're placing, when they're placing them, how much they're placing, and the way they're placing these products, so the 4 R's. And then we're also looking at things like fungicide, if they're applying it, if they're not, if they're applying insecticide, what kind of seed treatment they're using, and pretty much anything that might impact their yield to the slightest degree. This is an irrigated survey, so obviously irrigation is a very important component of it. In saying that, we put out a irrigation gauge underneath the pivot and a rain gauge on the dryland corner. What we do is we go out every week, check these gauges, and then we use that information and run it through a computer model, which is the Alberta Irrigation Management Model, which allows us to get a prediction for what the current level of soil moisture is, prediction for how much water the crop is using, and also gives a prediction for when the next irrigation will need to occur. So cooperators that were involved with this project this year and for the next 2 years, we give these predictions out on a weekly basis, and this also allows us to come and check out the crop on a weekly basis and look for any observations. The Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture carries out a province-wide canola disease survey. This year we made sure we did each one of the 15 fields in the survey under irrigation, not only to provide more information for the provincial survey, but also to help with the report writing for this project. What the survey is composed of is pulling 100 plants throughout the field and evaluating the disease incidence and severity for each plant. We saw fairly low overall disease incidence. There's some sclerotinia, which is pretty common, especially when you have lots of sclerotinia hosts in your rotation. And we saw some blackleg. There's a couple of fields that were severely impacted with blackleg, and from what we saw, it was in conjunction with hail damage that the crop received earlier. So the hail damage would have created some wounds to the plant, which would have created a perfect opportunity for the blackleg to infect it. For a couple of the fields anyway, did some serious harm. But like I said, overall, there's very low disease incidence in this survey, despite the fact that irrigated canola production is often associated with thicker canopies that can be quite moist, which can create ideal environments for disease to thrive. And after all the variables, obviously the next important thing that we need to get is the harvest. So we come up with a weigh wagon to determine the yield with the producers, or they have their own methods of determining the yield, either by using their grain carts or just by measuring the amount they put in the bin. After determining the yield, we're able to get a pretty good estimate for what the gross profit will be for that field. And then after we have all of the variables from each producer, we can get a pretty good estimate of what the net profit will be. It's not going to be exactly the same for each operation. We do use the numbers from the provincial crop planning guide, so they're not going to be exactly what the farmer's paying for, but it will be a pretty good guess, and it'll be uniform across all fields. So after 3 years, we are hoping to have some really good information on which production methods are generating the most net profit for irrigated canola in the Lake Diefenbaker development area. And after this year, there'll be a preliminary report, which will be available both online and in the ICDC Research and Demonstration Program final report, which will be released sometime in the new year. Stay tuned for more videos, and we'll be talking about the results of the first year of this survey in a video later on this winter.